Welcome back, trainers. So with all the data mine information that we were receiving yesterday, it's kind of exciting and at the same time a little bit of mixed emotions because this could be some sort of paywall as some of us are contemplating here. Now, there may be other means of collecting these so-called Mega Evolution candies, which are going to potentially help you Mega Evolve in Pokemon Go. Alright, so we do not have all the details. We can't jump the gun on saying it is going to be a paywall. But at the end of the day, it is Niantic, and we'll just have to see how they do roll this out. Let's just hope there is going to be other means of collecting these specific candies to Mega Evolve. Now, there's also several other things I want to be going over for this video here. One being the fact that the stats that we've been taking a look at, for Mega Evolutions, as well as going over to PvPoke to see the simulations, well, there might be a bit of a twist, folks, and actually not what we actually expected. So, much like the Shadow Pokemon, they do have a 20% buff in attack, and then the 20% debuff, or nerf, I guess you can call it, for the defense to kind of balance them out, making them stronger, but also weaker, but making them viable. As we all know, Shadow Pokemon are fantastic in some situations. So I think Mega Evolutions are going to probably work in the same kind of way as we've seen through the data mine. Some sort of energy accumulation, and not necessarily a stat change to these Pokemon. Not necessarily a CP change, I should say. So that's going to be throwing a wrench in the situation for a lot of these things, but also at the same time, kind of a good idea almost. Maybe for some Pokemon, because we were worried they're going to be too overpowered. This way, it's going to be kind of like a little bit of a balance. We'll see how all that works. Now, I was tagged in a tweet over on Twitter. Shout out to this guy here. He did make a fantastic image, kind of displaying and showcasing on how this may work, or a visual on how it may look regarding the Mega Candies. You're going to have the options, and then you're going to have to Mega Stone it, and then have the correct amount of candies. Now, this is just concept art, just a little visual for you guys to see how it does work. Very well put together there. I like that a lot. All right, now I want to go over something else, and that is going to be Dynamax and GigantaMax Raids. And now, I was seeing a few people saying to me in my last video, because I did mention this, that we might get this, or actually on Twitter, saying that we kind of already have the Gigantamax Raids in Pokemon Go, and to that I have to say, not necessarily. So there's going to be Gigamax and Gigantamax. Gigamax is going to be basically the Pokemon just scaling up bigger in size and becoming stronger. No new abilities, no new moves. The Gigantamax, on the other hand, is going to change its shape, form, what it looks like. As you can see, the Machamp there looks absolutely different. There's no denying that. It's a Gigantamax Pokemon here. And they will be picking up new moves and new abilities. So there's kind of a big difference between the two. Although it can be a little bit confusing if you're not into the main series. I completely understand that. So when you do catch these in the main games, they just go right back to their regular form. So what would be the point of doing these in Pokemon Go? Well, let's go ahead and talk about this. This is all speculation, and the reason why I am covering this is the fact that, well, we're getting Mega Evolution rates. I mean, so the speculation is on the table as to what we can expect in the future, and I'm good at this, and this is what we do on the channel, so let's go ahead and go over it. One, you will maybe potentially be able to Gigantamax or Gigamax raid, or evolve yourself up against raids, meaning when they do potentially roll this out, if they ever do, that you may be able to start soloing very hard raids, potentially tier 5 raids. So with your Gigantamax Pokemon, your Gigamax Pokemon, your Mega Evolve Pokemon, you may be able to just go on and take all these legendary raids out yourself, although it may cost some resources to do these things by yourself. You may be able to do this. Now, this is all speculation, like I said, so all right, don't get too crazy on my case about everything here. Now, another thing is, I've been talking about this one for a while, the Gigamax, Gigantamax raids. Either way you want to twist it, whatever they do throw at us in Pokemon Go in the future, probably both. But nonetheless, it would be great for them to have some sort of server-based lobbies. And what I mean by that is we have remote raid invites, which I am not going to say one bit that it's not horrible, other than the bugs that people are getting. I mean, that is not a good thing at all. But it has done quite good for people to actually get raids and go out and do raids with other people, right? Because you had all these role players saying that they had nobody to raid with, which I'm I'm not saying that you're complaining. I completely understand your complaint, right? You just can't do anything. You have nobody in your area. But with these potential raids in the future, it might just allow us to have some sort of server-based thing where you can have a list of potential raids within, say, a 6 to 7 or 10-mile radius of yourself, or maybe even further, and we'll show you raids that are there, as well as people that are ready to queue up and go to those raids. Kind of like in Sword and Shield. You just have a lobby waiting there until you have enough people to queue up or you're ready to go, then you can start the lobby. That would be something fantastic to see for Pokemon Go. Like I said, the remote raids are great, and I don't want to take an inch and, well, they give an inch and we take a mile, but I'm just throwing out fun ideas, like we were talking about PvP in the different 3 leagues before it was released, a year before it was released, when I was talking about how Medicham was going to be key. People are like, what's with these low CP Pokemon? They're garbage, they're useless. I maxed out my 100 Medicham, and people are like, why would you waste Stardust? PvP rolls around, everybody's powering up Medicham. Let's go. So these concepts and ideas are probably not too far off. Or if they are too far off, well, hey, at least we're going for it. So take a look at some of these. Look at this, is a Melmetal GigantaMax. I mean, look at these things. Absolutely amazing. And there is no doubt in my mind that we will not get these. I know we will get them in Pokemon Go. It's only a matter of time. It's because the whole Pokemon Company is leaning towards Pokemon Go. I mean, they took the influence from Raids and put it in Pokemon Sword and Shield. I mean, obviously, because it's making money. It's making a lot of money, and I'm talking about Pokemon Go more than the main series games. And if you're wondering, yeah, Sword and Shield didn't seem so hot. I wasn't really into it. The story wasn't great. It didn't seem, finished. It just seemed kind of rushed. And you know why? Well, this is my personal opinion. I just think because Pokemon Go is just raking in the money, so they're just revolving everything around that, and they just didn't put in enough effort for this game simply because Pokemon Go has rendered it useless. I wouldn't say useless, but I mean, when you have one thing making millions, billions, and then you have another thing over here on the sideline, which is bringing in revenue, but not even nearly as close. Pokemon Go bringing in more revenue than these games in years, than Pokemon did in 1 year, and these other games just can't touch it. So yeah, I think we're going to get these, and I think the Pokemon Company is revolving around Pokemon Go at this point because of the so many people that have been attracted to it and the amount of cash that has been made by it. So as you can see, the various different Pokemon that can Gigantamax, we're definitely not taking a look at all of them here because there are a few unfamiliar faces regarding Pokemon, so I kind of wanted to keep it familiar for the Pokemon Go players who are not really playing the main series games. They're not going to be too familiar with the newer Pokemon, but as you can see here, Pikachu looking hilarious. A lot of these Pokemon look awesome. I think one of my favorite ones, as far as the ones that we've seen in this video here, is probably going to be Melmetal. That thing looks freaking awesome. Let's just be real with it. Now let's go ahead and see what a Butterfree looks like here. Evolving into basically Mothra. Actually, quite literally, Mothra right here. So, pretty cool stuff. Could you imagine being able to do this in a legendary raid and being able to solo it? We'll see. I mean, these are just my thoughts, but I think that, I mean, who knows? People think they'll never bring this to Pokemon Go, they'll never bring that, but all these things that we're going over just so happen to make their way into Pokemon Go, even calling them out before any sort of data mine or anything like that. And it's just my business mindset to think this way because they can't pass this up. They're really trying to drag on Pokemon Go, and I'm not trying to say that in a bad way. That's because we love it, right? They want to keep it relevant as long as possible, and with all these little features, they can keep this thing going for years and years and years, right? And it's simple as that. And as time goes on, if they make it simpler for us to do things by ourselves, people are going to continue to want to play because they're like, hey, I don't need to gather around with a bunch of people anymore to do all these things that I used to. I can kind of do them by myself if I invest the resources correctly. Hey, I'm going to go out there and do this by myself, all right, as time does go on, because the world is kind of changing as we're seeing here for specific reasons we already know. We don't need to go over. So anyways, what do we have here? We have a Gigantamax Lapras. Pretty funny stuff. So remember, Gigantamax is where they change forms. Gigamax is where they just scale up. They look the same, but nothing really changes as far as their looks or abilities or moves go. So there you have it, trainers. If you did enjoy this video, please give it a big thumbs up. Just wanted to show you my thoughts on what we can potentially expect in the future. Because, yeah, getting this Mega Evolution raid news was I wouldn't call it a revelation, but it really opened my eyes as to, okay, Niantic is going all out, and the limits, there are no limits. They'll do whatever they want. So there you have it. Expect those candies, and don't get too upset about some sort of paywall being put behind Mega Evolutions, because we do not know the full story yet. For all we know, you're going to be able to get these candies from Pokestops, from gyms, from battling, from everything, from PvPing. You never know. So let's not get too much on Niantic's case about this from the data mine that we have pretty much very minimal information on, right? But once it does drop, if that's the case, then you guys, you know what to do. You know what to do. Look at this GigantaMax Snorlax. Absolutely hilarious. Has a literal, like, an island right there, right? So let's go ahead. We've already seen Machamp. I don't know. It's pretty neck to neck on the design for the Melmetal as well as the Machamp here. Both of them look freaking awesome. This thing is just a beast. Now, I don't think you're going to be able to do these in PvP. Now, that's something they're going to limit it. Nah, we'll cut it off at Mega Evolutions. These are going to strictly be for probably just raids, or maybe even gym battles. Highly doubt gym battles, probably just raids. But anyways, if you did enjoy this video, give it a big thumbs up, trainers. Get hyped for the future of Pokemon Go, because there is no stop anytime soon. Thanks for watching.